Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have been away for 2 weeks, but I know you are eager to know about my fantasy football teams, so we're going to talk to you about weeks 3 and 4 very briefly. We will start with each team and talk about week 3 and then week 4, because you know that's how numbers work. We'll talk about the injuries, the pickups, the wins, stuff like that, the normal stuff. We're going to be combining 2 weeks here. So let's go ahead and start with the Jerome Horwitz Purple Dragons. Week 3 was a loss for us. We lost 122-58. God bless America, that was a bad loss. But I guess that's what happens when your two highest scorers only get 14. That was the Bills defense and Chris Olave. The only two adds for the week did include the Bills defense, which I dropped the Ravens defense for them. Look, don't at me, okay? Just don't at me. We also added Jerry Jeudy, who is by far the ugliest individual I may have ever seen in my entire life. And in effect, we had to drop Geno Smith, so not the worst thing in the world. Moving on to week 4, we won 98-72, which is a great turnaround from that beatdown from week 3. Our highest scorer was CJ Stroud with 26, followed by Jayden Reed with 19, and then James Conner with 16. The Bills defense got us -3. The adds included Bucky Irving, Zach Ertz, and Cam Akers, while the drops included Gus Edwards, Alexander Mattison, and Colby Parkinson. So after 4 weeks, we are 2-2, so the Purple Dragons are well on their way to turning their season around and staying in playoff contention, even though it is very early. We are coming up to a bye week here soon, so that's when the thin line of waiver wires is really going to pay its dividends. So hopefully we can pick up someone good. Now we're going to move to the Vince McMahon Football Club, where in week 3, we obliterated our opponent 109-40. That was great. Dak was our highest score with 35, followed by Kyren Williams with 29. And no one really did poorly for us. There were no adds and drops. So moving on to week 4, we lost 87.5-84. Now, Dak Prescott was our leading scorer with 22, followed by Kyren Williams with 16. But then two guys, Rashid Shaheed and Jalen Nailor, both had fumbles. Now, why does that matter? Well, fumbles are -3 each in our league. So, Rashid Shaheed had 7.5 points for me, but you might be thinking, wait a minute, didn't he have like 80 yards to the air and then he had a few rushes? So he should have gotten almost 100 yards, if not over 100 yards, right? So that would have been 10 points. Right, so 10.5 minus 3 is 7.5. And then Jalen Nailor caught the 31-yard pass, so that should be 3 points, right? Right, but then he fumbled. So both of those guys fumbled, and that's why I lost by 3.5 points. Very frustrating, but it is what it is. We will live to fight another day. The only add this week was Jalen Nailor. We dropped Jamal Williams for him. This leaves us at 1-3, so the Vince McMahon Football Club definitely has some work to do. And now we're going to move to the Party Time Party Boys, where week 3, we lost 155-83. Our highest scorer was Kyren Williams, but we were definitely let down by some of the main guys that we were hoping to score big for us. Xavier Worthy got 5 points. Isaiah Likely got 1 point. Tyreek Hill only got 7 points, but Rashid Shaheed got 0 points. So we definitely needed those guys to step up. Obviously, they didn't. The adds and drops were pretty short. We added Quentin Johnston, and we dropped Curtis Samuel. Week 4 was much better choice as we came out with a win 143-122. Stroud was our leading scorer 28, followed by Reed with 27, and then Kyren Williams with 20. Quentin Johnston got me 2 points, and Isaiah Likely got me 3 points. That's unfortunate. Unfortunately, we also sat Xavier Worthy, who got us 16, Josh Jacobs, who got us 11, and Bucky Irving, who got us 12, so I'm just glad we won. The ads included Darnell Mooney, Jalen Nailor, and Bucky Irving, while the drops included Evan Ingram. Dude, what is going on with you? Tyler Johnson and Alexander Mattison. This leaves us at 2-2 for the season. Great to be back in the win column. We have to continue this trend. Let's make it a habit. And the last team we're talking about, the Deranged Easter Bunny. Week 3 was a loss for us, 144-117. Our highest score was CJ Stroud with 34, and that was accompanied with a 1-point outing by Jameson Williams. Very frustrating because he had 2 great weeks to start the season. However, speaking of Jameson Williams, he was one of our pickups along with another Lion, Aiden Hutchinson, and Tyler Johnson, which has been very disappointing for us, and Jake Ferguson. So we actually have a tight end that's not Travis Kelce and going to disappoint us. To make room for those guys, we dropped Marcus Jones. That was pretty disappointing, man. I wish he was going to do more for us, especially returning kicks. Austin Eckler, Jonathan Brooks, and Keenan Allen. And very similar to some of the other leagues, week 4 was much better to us. We came out with a win, 192-147. Our leading scorer was CJ Stroud with 71. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Jalen Naylor got us 2 points. That stinks. Speaking of Jalen Naylor, he was one of our ads for this past week, including Terry McLaurin. I know someone dropped him, but he just wasn't producing. So, of course, we get him and then don't start him. And in effect, we dropped Tyler Johnson and Jared Goff. So that brings us to 2-2 overall in this league, along with 2 of the other leagues. So 3 overall, we are 2-2. 1, we're 1-3. Not the worst thing in the world. Still lots of football to be played, but we have to make sure we utilize the waiver wire in our favor. So, who might you want to look at on the waiver wire? If you haven't already, Cam Akers. I don't know how much longer Joe Mixon's going to be out, but he's a great handcuff. Also, Tank Bigsby. We talked about him before, but, I mean, ETN, he only got 7 points this last week. You might want to look at him. Also, Bucky Irving. I've picked him up in several of my leagues. He is out-producing Rashawn Johnson, Rachaad White, whoever it is. Make sure you go grab Bucky Irving. He's going to be doing some stuff. He's a smaller back, but he's very elusive, just like he was doing work at Oregon. Maybe not, producing as much, but he's still going to be putting up some points for you. I would also look at Wendell Robinson. Nope, I'm not trying to troll you. There is a Giants player on this team. And defensively, I thought anyone going against the Panthers were going to be a good pick, but shoot. They got the Red Rocket now, so who knows what's going to happen. If available, somehow the Ravens, because they're going against the Cincinnati Bengals this week, so not a whole lot to pick from there. That's going to do it for the wrap-up. I am so glad to be back talking about strictly football, even though baseball is still going to be number 1 in my heart as I watch the Yankees hopefully matriculate through October and win another championship. I look forward to seeing you next week. This is Jay Cake, and I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me.